Yeah, man. Good morning to everyone, man. Yeah, first addition, man, to the new show. Yeah, FA Cup, the oldest cup, in the world. Yeah, big results today, man. I'm so happy that the FA Cup is finally back. You don't know the third one start in January, but you have a whole lot of preliminary rounds, man. Since start of what I would say around July, August. Those little smaller teams, played in the preliminary sections, and my goodness, yeah, it's like every FA Cup, you have a new results, new team, that's causing chaos in the league. I remember a couple seasons ago, it was actually Lincoln City. Yeah, it was Lincoln City from League Two a couple seasons back, and today it's Maidstone United, the team from National League South, beating the League One team. Wow, what a results. They're gonna get a whole lot of handsome of money. This is why, I love the FA Cup. Quick 1 second. Yeah, but just 1 second, people, because that result against Maidstone, man, it was a massive result for them. The team from Kent in England, yeah. You could see what it means to the supporters as they rush to this on the pitch, holding up the players, the coach. Coach is also a Cameroonian. 1 second, let me get this sorted out. Yeah, man. As we see in the weird time derby, man, the big one of the weekend, Newcastle, yeah, beat their bitter rivals Sunderland 3-0. No answers for the Black Cats, yeah. Can't believe, I was supporting Sunderland in that game. I was expecting, Sunderland to put up a bigger and a better fight. But you could see that, the difference between both teams, yeah, with bigger players, quality more stronger, they in a higher league than Sunderland. Sunderland, his team is what I think average around 23. That's the average age of the team. But before I go on to that, the weird time derby, yesterday, day before yesterday, actually, Crystal Palace and Everton played out to a boring nil. That game will play next week, a replay. And yesterday, Spurs, yeah, beat Vincent Company men 1-0 in London. What a wonderful goal from the Argentine, the right back, yeah. Poron, beautiful goal. But Spurs is in some limbos, they have like what 3 players missing, Son went off to the Asian tournament, and Papesar and Bissouma is off to the African Cup of Nations, but Spurs is already out. Yes, Spurs is already out of the AFL Cup. They got beaten. I think it was in the third round at Craven Cottage and penalty. They only playing in the Premier League, so Spurs haven't win a title for. It's been years, man. It's been years, yeah, since Spurs have won their last title, and I don't know where Big Hands go from here, but he started a very strong team. That game could have easily be probably around 2-3 nil. Richarlison got a few clear cut chances, in that game, but didn't manage to put any in the back of the net, but it took a wonderful shot, from Poron to beat the Burnley goalkeeper, and that's how that game ends. Reggae Boy international team, yeah, Pinnock. I don't know what Brentford did in that game. Wolves came back from 1-0 down to draw the game 1-1 at the GTEC Stadium in Brentford. They're going to play that replay. I think it's going to be also next week. Big game going to be down there. And I remember I think it was the last. It was the last FA Cup when Wolves, drew 2-2 at Anfield, and They demand that replay at Molineux, but they lost the game. I think 1-0 Liverpool beat them on the replay. But that game that they drew 2-2 against Liverpool in the last January in the round 3, after 2022-2023 FA Cup campaign, they came back again away. So they're going back home now. So let's see if, Lightning strike twice, if they're going to lose the replay game, next week. As I said, should be next week, against Ethan Pinnock, Brentford, Thomas Frank, Thomas Frank is a really good, really, really good coach. Thomas Frank, Brentford playing in a really good system. I think Thomas Frank is he's the third longest serving manager for his club in the Premier League. Really, strategically, and a coach that from Denmark. He's doing some great work there, but they haven't been in that positive result since lately. And their team have hit with some injuries. Top man and Boyz is out. We know Ivan Toney, suspension will be up in a couple of weeks from now. Ivan Toney will be back for that return of the Premier League next week against Nottingham Forest. Yeah, I think week after next. It should be week after next. I think that's January 20. Ivan Toney will be back, against Nottingham Forest. So, you saw what Thomas Frank said, about Ivan Toney, not for sale. So Arsenal can just back off. It's going to take probably around anything above 70 to 80, 70 to 80, mil to get Ivan Toney away from Brentford. This January transfer, Thomas Frank want to keep him, Wissa is the next player. He's out. He's after the African nations. I think he's from Mali. Onyike, another player that's going to be missing for Brentford. He's after the African Cup of Nations and he played for Nigeria. So they are a bit light, up in that attacking third area for those positions. So I see why Thomas Frank, holding out. And Mboemo is not going to be back until probably probably a month and a half from now. So they need all hands on deck. So that's why, that's one of the big reasons, for keeping Ivan Toney, at Brentford. But Gary O'Neill on the other side, yeah, the last time Wolves have won the FA Cup, it was back in 1992, 1993, the second season of the Premier League, era. And Gary O'Neill is doing a fantastic job at, Wolves. Can't complain, man. Can't complain about the job that, Wolves manager is doing. And it all started from that game, against United at Old Trafford, when he only came in like days before, before that game. He only have, I think, 2 training sessions, yeah, with the players. And, saw he played United after park. And lucky, United got that result. They should have got a penalty in that game. But Wolves is missing Anit Nouri. Yeah, Anit Nouri is after the African Nations Cup, and Kwang, the Korean, is after the Asian game. But as I said, 1-1 draw between Brentford and Wolves. That game we're going to be a replay. But guys, let's move on, to the next game. Fulham. These games played yesterday. Just running a recap before I go into that big weird time derby. Fulham, Bobby Reid lone goal. Beat Rotterdam. Rotterdam is the team of Dexter Lembikisa. Yeah, the man that's on loan from Wolves. Play an average game. Yesterday. Didn't make not one cross into the box, but for most of that game, Rotterdam was just on the back foot. Fulham was just the better team. Yeah, and Bobby Reid could have easily scored a second goal, in that game. But it's a absolutely stunner. Yeah, the man that have my last name, my namesake, yeah, Bobby De Cover Reid. Fulham. Remember, last campaign they beaten in that FA Cup in at Old Trafford. I think that was a 3-1 victory, a 3-0 victory for United. And that's the furthest they went last campaign in the FA Cup, quarter final, and they after the 4th round, and big things for Fulham. Not a really good season, for the Craven Cottage team, but they stepping up their campaign, beating Arsenal. You know what happened last weekend. So yeah. So Bobby Reed back-to-back goal versus Arsenal and Rotterdam, so he's off the mark in the FA Cup. The game that everyone, all over the world, especially in the UK, is talking about. The weird time derby, Sunderland versus Newcastle. It was a big one. Yeah, it was the lunchtime kickoff in the UK, and my goodness, what a game from Newcastle. Yeah, Newcastle came out as if they put their both feet down, like we're not going to lose this game, because lose this game probably would be the end of Eddie. Oh, this derby, between Sunderland and Newcastle. I was listening to our English radio yesterday, and a Sunderland supporter came on the radio, and he was saying that I think Darren Ben asked him which one you'd prefer. Would you beat Newcastle tomorrow and not get promoted to the Premier League? And he actually said, beating Newcastle tomorrow is the priority. He rather beat Newcastle than not to promote to the Premier League next season. Sunderland is in the 6th position right now in the championship, and 40 points. So they're right in that playoff spot. But this is what it means, yeah? This is what these fixtures mean to Sunderland and Newcastle, the Magpies and the Black Cat supporters. But 3-0 victory, I think you could see that, the big difference between both teams, yeah? Quality players. Newcastle, even though they're struggling, I think Newcastle lost 6 or 7 games in their last 9. Yeah, so they're not on a good run of form out of the Champions League, out of the Carabao Cup, all the way down to I think 8 or 9 in the Premier League. So not very good things is happening, there at St. James Park, but they deserve this victory today. And you could say that, the captain, El Capitano, is back. Kieran Trippier he had a woeful Christmas. Yeah, a woeful December. He had a wonderful season from August until November, but oh my God, Trippier performance, it just fell below par, in that December period. But he played a wonderful game. Coming into this game, it was all about Jube, Bellingham. That's the young brother of Bellingham, and Jay Clark. Who else? Pritchard. But it was a big news before that starting level came out. Patrick Roberts, the man who is the top man for Sunderland, is out. He's carrying an injury. He missed a few games back. So he failed that fitness test and he's not in the squad. But it was all about Pritchard and Jay Clark, and Ikwa, the man that made the mistake, But Sunderland just keep passing the ball out short, and they just playing into Newcastle hands. Newcastle just pressed around 4 to 5 players right on the edge of Sunderland box, and my God, I don't know if Michael Beale, the Sunderland coach, could have done something better. I know that they don't have that target striker where they can kick the ball long, but whenever they pass the ball out, they pass the ball out to either a midfielder or a centre back, and then after there, the ball go long. So if the ball can go long from 2 passes after the goalkeeper, why not the goalkeeper just kick it long? And that second goal wouldn't score because the man was right up on the Sunderland midfielder Ekwa, and they just picked his pocket, and it's just a wonderful goal. But the first goal though, I feel it for Bollard, man. I feel it for Bollard, yeah, the Sunderland defender. But I think as soon as his body made contact with the ball, he slightly took his eyes away from the ball, and it just right up on his shin, and it just went in from there. But the second half, it didn't start properly, for Sunderland. As I said, that goal, that mistake from Ekwa, but right after there, Sunderland, I don't know where they found the energy, but in the 55th minute, around 55th and 58th, they found that energy and they got their first shot on target. I think Pritchard is the one that took that shot. He is the one that created the 2 most likely, opportunities for Sunderland to score today, but none of them went in. But Jay Clark, yeah, he defend his life in that first half as Kerry and Chipper was bombing forward, and all you have to do, all you did, in that first half and most part in that second half is defending, and it just took all that energy away from them. Every time when Jay Clark get the ball, it's always double team. It's Almiron and Trippier, and you have Bruno. He came over and formed that triangle. There's no way to cut him. He is that danger man for Sunderland, yeah. And well done to Eddie Howe. His tactics was spot on. But Sunderland best period of the game, it was between the 55th minute go all the way up to the 70th minute, yeah. But Newcastle, their team was stronger overall, but Sunderland, is playing really good football in the championship, but this is not the championship. This is, the FA Cup where you're coming up against the big boys, and all of that. But you saw what happened last season, yeah, with Burnley. They killed everyone in the championship, and they came up and they're just getting run off the park in all of their games that they played so far. And Sunderland need to look at that as a team, as a unit. Is Michael Beale the right man, to move forward with this Sunderland team? It's been a while. I think it's been like 6 to 7 years, Sunderland, got relegated to the Premier League, but they just need to pay attention, strengthen their squad. Can they keep hold of Jay Clark? Can they keep hold, of their young? I think they have a young French player, Awuchi. Can they keep a hold of all these players? As I said earlier, the average age for Sunderland team is 23. So they have a long way to go. Very good team in the championship. They have qualities. They got beaten in that semi-final last campaign in the championship by Luton Town. So, they going to go again. I love Sunderland. Stadium of Light, wonderful atmosphere. I think it was around, I think the stadium was 48,000. Yeah, but it was less than that today because they have to bar off, the Magpies and the Black Cat supporters. As if these two supporters come probably any centimeter, meters away, it's going to be war in the streets. But Newcastle, where they go from here? Because coming up in the Premier League, man, they finished in the top 4 last campaign, and they played in the Champions League. Most Newcastle fans will say that, playing in the Champions League with not a very deep squad kind of derailed their season. I think at one point during the Premier League, so Newcastle have played the same starting 11. I think 3 or 4 games straight in our competition, including that PSG game that they drew 1-1 at Parc des Princes. But this team is so tired, they're so drained, and they carrying, I think, around 7 to 8 players on that injury list, first team players, but could see some unusual face, in that stadium today. Saw former Sunderland goalkeeper, I forgot his name. Pickford, yeah. Pickford is a goalkeeper for Sunderland. He saw Darren Ben, formerly, of Sunderland. Also, I saw Newcastle legend Charlie Amiobi, yeah. A couple of neutral face in the ground, but as I said, this was a big game, after FA Cup for the weekend. But Newcastle managed to get this 3-0 victory, But some little stats, the last time these two teams, met in a FA Cup tie, it was all the way back in March 3rd, 1956. That was a long time ago. Before this game, Sunderland, unbeaten against the Magpies in their last 8 games. Yeah, the last time that happened, Newcastle got a victory at Stadium of Light. It was back in 2011. So could see that over the years, Sunderland is the better team, getting the better results in this wine tier derby. But see what's going on, in the other part. But another thing, there was this big roar, from Sunderland fans because the ownership made some hospitality for Newcastle fans. Yeah, it's like they offer a hospitality package for the away fans. Can come in and get nice treatment, and it around £600 for those tickets. And it was a big problem, for the Sunderland fans. As back in the time, at one point, what used to happen, between Newcastle and Sunderland, they used to treat whoever go away. They used to get bad treatment. They used to get the bad treatment, and saw what Sunderland owner did and gave the Magpie supporters hospitality treatment and all of that. If this game drew, it would have probably be the same, for Sunderland fans at St James Park, but they're having it as a fans. They don't want no nice treatment, for the Magpies at Stadium of Light. They should experience the worst. And they used to have, no heat in the winter whenever these two teams played in the winter. It used to be a cold bathroom. They used to knock out all the tubs and all of that, at the away ground. But these two teams, fans, they are crazy. They are passionate about their team. Yeah, they are really passionate. But we're going to move on, from that big derby. Newcastle beat Sunderland 3-0. Another team, Reggae Boy International, yeah. Omar Hutchinson, he played a really good game today. Ipswich beat, the team from London, Wimbledon. We remember that Wimbledon story, in the FA Cup. Go back and watch that on YouTube, man. Crazy. They have a rich history in the FA Cup. But yeah, Ipswich Town, the team that's flying, the team that coached by formerly of United. I think he was a trainer, under Jose Mourinho in that era when Mourinho was at United. Kieran McKenna, the Scottish. Ipswich is doing wonderful right now in the championship. Yeah, Ipswich is in second position, but they haven't win a game in their last, I think, 5. They're winless in their last 5 games in the championship. Is it a little blip? They lost only 1 game in that run and drew 4. But Omar Hutchins is another player. 2 assists of the season so far. He's playing regular. He scored 2 goals. He scored today. He finished the game with a 6.4 match rating. So really good game. But he could have done better. I think on that right hand side. You kind of switch vice versa, with the other winger, where, sometimes when he get the winger to take on 1v1, he's a little bit shy there. He tend to cut in a lot, inside and play the ball. I would love, as a winger, your first attempt is always to take on the wing backs 1v1, but really good. Ipswich is in second position and 55 points. Yeah, Ipswich has been out of the Premier League since 2002, 2001, around I think that's around, probably around some 20 years now. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since Ipswich have been in the Premier League. But the prize money in FA Cup, it's crazy. Yeah, it's big. It's huge for these lower tier teams in the National League. The National League North and South, even some team that struggle financially, in League 2, it's the FA Cup is where most of these teams get their money. The TV rights, this FA Cup campaign, you get around over £100,000 if your team get featured games, in the UK. So big tournament. But we're going to move on, to another team. Yeah, Reggae Boy International. Coventry slam Oxford United 6-2 at home. Yeah, Coventry. Joel Latibodier is on the score sheet, and Casey Palmer. My goodness, people, go out and check that Casey Palmer strike on Oxford United. It is a wonderful strike. I think he shot that ball from around 35 yards out, and the keeper didn't stand no chance of saving that ball, but Joel Latibodier, man, playing again at centre back for his club, but whenever he comes to the Reggae Boys, he's always playing in that CDM position. Yeah, but he played really good today. Casey Palmer played 81 minutes in the game, played good, created a few chances, did what Casey Palmer did, whenever he play. Excellent, he didn't give away. That one thing I kind of like with him when he played for Coventry, he don't really give up the ball a lot to the opponent. Yeah, he always keep the ball. He tend to make, the 5 to 10 yards passing. As a midfielder, if you try to play the basic, if you try to play the ball simple, 5 to 10 yards, you just can't go wrong. And especially, Casey Palmer with that goal, big goal, big goal. Can he give us something like that, coming 2 months from now against the America, in Texas? But Oxford is a team, not a Reggae Boy team, yeah. Greg Lay played for that team, but Lay haven't played for the team since November. I think November 11th, was his last game for Oxford. I don't know why. He's not on the injury list on the team website. His last game came against, the last game he played, it was in Canada, against Canada for the Reggae Boys. That was November the 21st. And I remember seeing him at the hotel. He was hobbling around on a bad ankle. He said that he hurt his ankle. So I don't know if he's out injured, if he's just not in the manager plans. But Oxford is in League One. Where Oxford is at? Let's see where they stand, in League One. Oxford United is in 5th on 46 points. Yeah, so they're in that playoff spot. 3 points away from Derby. I would say 5 points away from the automatically qualifying promoted spot in League One from Bolton Wanderers. But the big results of the FA Cup so far, Maidstone, the National League South team, beat Stevenage. Big result. Maidstone have 2 Caribbean. I would say one of them currently playing for the Caribbean country, Grenada. I think his name is Jacob. And the other one is a former Trinidad international, Gavin Hood. He's a captain, for Maidstone. He's a warrior. He's been around the block in the lower league for some years now. I think he's 33, 34 years old, but I love it for Maidstone. Maidstone, as a team that's in the 6th tier of English League football, they granted a prize money of £120,000, and that's a whole lot of money for them. And these players going to get bonuses. They didn't got any TV rights game in England, but they got a prize money, and the winning prize money for Maidstone is going to be the prize money is £100,000, and the gate receipts and all of that. All the FA Cup, do the gate receipts in the FA Cup. 45% split between both teams. Yeah, so each team, it doesn't matter where. So Stevenage going to get 45% of the gate receipt, and Maidstone going to get 45% of the gate receipts. So that's why the FA Cup is huge. For these teams in the lowest division. And Maidstone, this is their second game beating a league. I think they beat a League 2 team in that run in the FA Cup. Let's go back and check. Yeah, they beat Borough. They beat Borough United from League 2. Yeah, so it's another big results for Maidstone. Stevenage is playing in League 1, so they're managed by a former Cameroonian international player, Ili Kobe, and this is his first season as a manager. He got the job in January. So it's 1 year. It's 1 year since he's been employed by Maidstone, but big results for Maidstone. The penalty that the lone goal scored by Sam Corney in added time in the 45th minute. Yeah, so they said that Maidstone have a newly farm ground. They ground newly built in 1992. So impressive, and this is their first time going into the 3rd round of the FA Cup. This is the farthest they ever been. So they're moving on to the 4th round. Can they get a favorable result again? Can they get another League 1, League 2 team in the 4th round. You know, the draw will take place. The draw will take place. When is the draw? The draw will take place Sunday. No, it's Monday. The draw will take place on Monday. I think Monday is the 7th. Monday is the 8th. Yeah, Monday is the 8th. So the draw will take place, you know, the 8th of January on Monday. But the last game that played earlier today is Leicester City, you know, versus Millwall. You know, Leicester City is running through the championship. Yeah, Leicester City is running through the championship. As you know, it was kind of like a nerve-wracking, you know, winning against, you know, Millwall, the team, but they got the results and they're moving on, you know, to 4th round of the FA Cup. But that's it for the lunchtime kickoff UK time games. You know, games that playing right now as we speaking. Yeah. Tell you right now. So Reggae Boy International, Daniel Johnson is in the starting 11, you know, for Stoke City. Stoke City hosts, you know, Brighton Albion, yeah. And Brighton is 1-0 down, at own goal by Van Eck, the defender. So Daniel Johnson is in the starting 11. Who else is playing? Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it for the Reggae Boys. I think that's it for players that play for Jamaica. Yeah. Yeah. Next up, you know, later the other game, you know, Sheffield Wednesday will play Cardiff. You know, Deshaun Bernard, you know, played for Sheffield, and Jamal Lowe, Swansea will host Marcombe. You know, that game is next up, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Chelsea will play Preston North End at Stamford Bridge. And the best for last, Leon Chippy Bailey will travel to the Riverside Stadium to play Middlesbrough, you know, coached by Manchester United legend Michael Carrick. You know, so people, that's the quick reaction after FA Cup. You know, not sure if I'm going to do any more recap, you know, for the rest of the day. You know, I have to, from here, I have to go to work. But if I can get it done, I will get it done. But Leon Bailey will travel to Riverside to play, you know, Middlesbrough at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And Jamal Lowe, Swansea City host Marcombe, you know, at 12:30. And Deshaun Bernard team, you know, Sheffield Wednesday host Cardiff, you know, that's it. And tomorrow, I will definitely do a recap tomorrow, Sunday. The big one, yeah? The big game, Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium. And is Mikel Antonio ready? I'm not sure, but West Ham will host Bristol City at the London Stadium. Luton Town will host Bolton Wanderers. Amari Bell, you know, there for Luton Town. Another local derby tomorrow. Big one, yeah? Shrewsbury versus, you know, the Hollywood Owners team, Wrexham, the team from Wales. Everyone is on, you know, Wrexham is on everyone lips right now. Everyone is talking about Wrexham as Wrexham is looking to get promotion. You know, Wrexham, I think, got around 6 promotion in their last 8 season. You know, this team is coming from the dust. You know, this team have a document on Paramount. And you can go, I think one of them, is it on Paramount? I think they have one, I don't remember, but I know the latest one is on Hulu. You know, you can go out and look at that, you know, documentary. It's Wrexham, really good club, you know, owned by, you know, I think Rob McInerney, you know, I think the man that come in Deadpool. Yeah. But they're owned by 2 Hollywood stars. You know, Wrexham is in 3rd right now in League 2, you know, and joined with Mansfield and 49 points. And Stockport County is the team that's leading the League 2 on 51 points. Both teams is 2 points behind Stockport. But yeah, tomorrow, that local derby, Shrewsbury versus Wrexham. Arsenal, yeah. Arsenal, they need this one. Arsenal need this one. Arsenal are under pressure. Mikel Arteta under pressure, yeah? As, you know, they lost their 2 games back-to-back now against the bitter rivals London teams, West Ham and Fulham. You know, Liverpool coming to town without Mo Salah. Can Liverpool dig out a victory? You know, seen an article, you know, they said that Liverpool is unbeaten the last time Mo Salah went away. So let's see, you know, if history repeats itself. But that's it, you know, people. I'm going to watch the rest of the game before I head out. You know, I'm going to watch that Brighton versus Stoke City. As you know, Daniel Johnson is playing against Brighton. He's playing for Stoke City. Another big result right now. Yeah, another big one right now. National League team is leading Watford United 1-0 at Vicarage Road. 34 minutes gone in that game. These people, I tell you about these little small teams, you know. These small teams, when it comes on to FA Cup, it's their time. It's their time. This is their Premier League clubs, Championship clubs, and some League One clubs don't really mind, you know, with the prize money in the FA Cup. But these teams need the money, yeah. And you have two teams that's playing right now. You know, Eastleigh, another National League team, you know, in the 5th tier of English football is playing Newport County in League 2. So that will be another surprise if Eastleigh can get that big result, you know, away in Wales. You know, Newport is in Wales. But people, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you guys like the video if you're new, you know, subscribe, you know, new addition to the Newcastle Media House, the FA Cup, 3rd round. You know, we're going to do it 3rd, 4th, 5th. Quarterfinal, you know, semi-final. So look out for more FA Cup coverage on Newcastle Media House as we go on. We're going to reflect on how the Reggae Boyz players, no, we can't leave out the Reggae Boyz yet, how they're doing in the FA Cup. So big one, look more. Respect people. Go and watch the Reggae Boyz playing right now. You know, thanks for tuning in, man. This is Newcastle Media House.